Alright guys, let's take a look at the eBay listings for the Pokemon GBA cartridge games. So when you just type in something like Pokemon game GBA, for example, into eBay, you get a lot of listings. So if we have a look, just straight off the bat, you can tell that these are definitely fakes, just even without having to click on them. The photo, generally speaking, like the Ruby looks alright, but the Sapphire you can tell it's kind of off. But the main giveaway is really the price. So if you're looking at Australian dollars, about $20 Australian dollars, it's about say 16 to 18 maybe US dollars, something like that. It's a bit suspicious, especially if you save up to $15% when you buy more. So that's even more a giveaway. If they have multiple quantities of each product, you know something's up. Also, if they're listed as brand new, that's also a giveaway sign, because none of these games are ever brand new now. They're only like new at most, but never brand new. So that's something to look out for. Another major thing is to have a look at if there are any bundles of the 5 games altogether. So often the fake reproduced games or whatever, they are bundled in 5s, and you know, at only $20, $22 Australian dollars, it's quite cheap for 5 games, when usually for Pokemon Emerald itself you're looking at least $100 Australian dollars at this current time. Yeah, so these kind of things, sometimes there'll be there as well. So like there's that's a good one. And the top secret version, for example, these are not even Pokemon games, so these are fan made. So just if you do want them, you can get them, but otherwise just avoid them. Yeah, pretty much all of these, you can just by looking, most of them are not alright. Now, sometimes they do sell the manuals separately, or the boxes separately. You do have to be careful of the fake boxes and fake manuals as well. So generally take a look at the actual box and everything. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I have seen a couple listings where the box is actually fake. So for example, I believe this one, yeah. So for example, this listing, it's a leaf green in a box and everything, and they've been going for quite a lot of money. So at least this one, no one's bidding on it at the moment, because I think people can sort of tell it's fake. But sometimes they have the real game. This one's not. Sometimes they have the real game, but they have like a fake box and the fake manuals, and people bid very, very highly on it. I've seen a couple, like a Ruby and Sapphire recently, that's gone for like $200+ with a legit game, but like a fake box and stuff, and people aren't aware that there are fake boxes as well, so that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, this one just basically screams fake, basically. Definitely look at photo references for that. I don't have a lot of the boxes to show in this video, but that's one of the ones that you definitely want to avoid. Okay, so when you kind of just look at something like that, it looks pretty legitimate. So it's also good because if they're listed as genuine or authentic, and they're not, when you receive them, you can always raise a case with eBay, because eBay does sort of care quite a bit for counterfeit stuff. So you should be relatively safe, though there are some times when the game is actually very fake, but they list it as authentic. For example, this listing here, they've listed it as an authentic Pokemon Sapphire, but clearly it's a fake, similar to the ones that I've showed you earlier. So definitely be careful of that. Not all the authentic or genuine listings are real games, but generally speaking, they're more safe than the other ones. You just have to really double check the photos. For example, this one doesn't have that 4 squares at the back of the circuit board. And you can't see much here, but you can just see like the main case and everything is just a little bit off. Like the colors are not quite right, but at least they, took all the photos and stuff for that, so that's good. Yeah, so that's something to watch out for as well. Right. Now, if we have a look at this is clearly like a fake set. So there's a couple things that you can tell that's fake when you see a listing like this. So obviously, when the photo kind of looks a bit stock photo-y or something like that, and also I don't know why it's listed as Takara Tomy when that's got nothing to do with the Pokemon game, so that's kind of random. And when there's more than 10 available, that's also something to be careful of. And when it's like 5 games for $21, it's a little bit cheap, and you also get free express postage. So basically, I don't know, but this is just too cheap. It's not gonna be the real one for sure. And sometimes when they list in these sort of item specifics in the description, The fake ones sometimes just say unbranded or just Pokemon or whatever. They don't really say anything, like they just give really generic sort of descriptions and stuff just to avoid obviously being getting in trouble or whatever. So the condition is brand new. That's something to be careful of as well. And I think maybe this is just like you buy one and then you get one of them. Maybe you don't get all 5, but it's still too cheap because generally speaking, in terms of Australian dollars, like the leaf green and FireRed, you're looking at sort of between $60 to $100 for just a cartridge. It can go more. For Ruby and Sapphire, you're looking between $30 to maybe $60 Australian, and Emeralds can range anywhere between sort of $80 to $130 nowadays. So they're quite up there in the price, so just be careful of that. Also, if you're looking at eBay listings and they have fairly poor positive feedback, you can probably tell that they're not selling legitimate games. So if you go on to the this one doesn't say anything, it's just about Yeezys and stuff, but generally speaking, if you do check the eBay seller, sometimes people who've left negative or neutral feedback may say that it's a counterfeit game or like a fake game. So this one looks a little bit more legit from afar just because the colors seem kind of correct and the font and everything seems pretty okay. The only concern here though is that this is very much a stock photo, so you definitely want to avoid anything that has stock photos. So this one's a stock photo and the stock image of just the box art and stuff like that. So if you see something like that, definitely avoid it as well because you don't get to see what you're getting necessarily with stock photos. So $40 is still quite cheap for a FireRed. Condition is brand new. That's also a giveaway sign. Other than that, there's not much. I think a lot of the sellers do keep it quite on the low key, and just because they don't want to get into trouble with the description. But this is something to avoid as well. Just be careful about that. Another thing to keep in mind also is if the seller is selling at least one fake game, you should probably avoid all the other listings they have, even if they look legit, because they may be using stock photos. So this is a genuine one. You can tell, firstly, in the title it says genuine, so it's unlikely. It's, like I said, unlikely that it will be a fake one. It does happen. But if you have a look, the colors and everything look quite close to what you're basically looking for. Though it's a bit hard to see the embossed factory imprint. You can just sort of see it at the bottom. Let me just click on this. You can sort of just see it here. I think it's a 2 and an 8 or a 2 and a 9. So you can just barely see it. So this is a legitimate copy. And if you just see, there's a bit of an outline here where that indent is inside the case as well. So that's also a good sign. And just on the back, you can see that there's a 4 squares just there as well. So this one is definitely a legitimate copy. And of course, with the price being that high, it's unlikely it'll be the fake one. This one is also legitimate. You can tell straight away from the sticker that there's the embossed factory imprint. You got the battery at the back and the little indent. Obviously the holographic sort of look. Everything just seems legitimate. Good thing about these sort of listings is that they will put a lot of photos, very clear photos showing that it is legitimate, so that's good. Try to avoid any sellers that only put like 1 or 2 photos that don't really show much, because you will be getting what you buy. I mean, what you're seeing, and if you can't see much, then you don't really know what you're buying. So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind as well. So this is a fake one. If it says brand new, that's like I said, not a good sign. The rubies and sapphires a little bit hard to tell as well, but this one's definitely fake. It's a bit too dark. Usually the dark edges are a little bit more on the sides. So yeah, and just if you check the back here, there's no the 4 squares on the circuit board either. Yeah, so another major thing that I've noticed is that anything with the fake games tend to come with the protective case, which is that little plastic case. All of the fake games that I've received in the mail ever in my life have always come in one of these things. So if you do receive one with one of these things, with this case, just be mindful that it may be a fake, and you might want to check out some photos for reference and everything like that. So another major thing that people like to put in the descriptions or on the listings now, they're called brand new reproductions. So I actually really don't like this name for the fake games. They are fake, they are bootleg, they are illegitimate games. Reproductions is sort of just a nicer word to call them and people may, you know, think that they're legitimate games, but they've just been reproduced by Nintendo later down the track. They are not reproduced by Nintendo. They are reproduced in some random place, who knows where, and they're just basically knockoff versions. So the reproductions or repros, if you see that around, definitely avoid that, because those are definitely the fakes. So don't ever get tricked with the reproductions or repros or whatever. It's the same, basically the same name for a fake, but just a nicer sounding one, that's all. This one's also fake. You can tell by the font straight away. So you get good at looking at these games the more you sort of look at it. Nintendo logo's way off. The seal of quality is bad. The logo's incorrect. This is just all incorrect font, so that's something just to be mindful of as well. Now this one is actually quite a high price, so it is, even for a legitimate game, it's quite high. So sometimes the people who are selling the fake games are bumping them up to what the legitimate prices are, because that's, sometimes people just tell by the price, and that's not good. Now this is an interesting listing. So sometimes you'll come across some listings that sort of show, like some listings may have real and fake games with it together. So this is a FireRed and leaf green cartridge. If you look closely, this is the leaf green, just the one without the casing. This one's 100% a fake one. Leaf greens do not have batteries. You can tell this is not legitimate. Like the quality of the chip is just no good. Like there's never any of this the numbers and stuff here. The FireRed though, from my personal feeling, it is legitimate actually, because the sticker colors look right, the font and logo and everything seems right. Top right hand side has the indent as well, so I believe this is a real FireRed, but this is definitely a fake leaf green. They have stated that it doesn't come with a cartridge, but it does apparently work, but it's not, you know, it's not legitimate. Though the price is not too bad for if you are in the UK or whatever, and the price is pretty good. It's pretty worth I guess it's quite worth just getting the FireRed. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, you just really gotta just look into the photos. If something seems off, just don't get it. Don't bother wasting your time and money for something that's no good. Just invest. If you do want a legitimate game, definitely just invest a bit of time and a little bit more money just to get the right one, and just do it once and you just be done with it, instead of having to go back and forth with these fake games and you end up wasting more money. So definitely not worth it. Alright, so that'll be it for the listings sort of side. Other than that, that's it.